Many of us 20-something gamers remember a time long, long ago. Okay, not that long ago. Only like 10 or 15 years ago. But regardless, there was a time when playing games with friends meant unplugging your PC and schlepping it over to somebody's house. Sure, if you were a dirty console peasant, then you might have owned something like a Nintendo 64 or a PlayStation that let you just plug multiple controllers into one system, but that was just the easy way out. And I ain't no console pleb! PC Master Race. I'm just kidding. I own several consoles, have for over a decade, and am gonna buy a Switch. But jokes aside, while I am a PC boy at heart, I've definitely had my fair share of consoles. And let me tell you, as a lifelong gamer, I've been noticing a trend over the years. Now, I don't mean to pull the whole old person back in my day bit, but when the opportunity arises, I gotta capitalize. Back in my day, playing video games wasn't just about yelling at a screen and poning noobs. It was about fun and friendship and good times. Did I mention that I used to walk 7 miles to and from school every day, even on weekends, in the blistering heat, with snow and hail and tornadoes, uphill both ways, and we liked it. The good old days. But yeah, games a while back definitely had a different feel to them. There were a whole lot of single-player games, sure, and playing by yourself is always going to provide a unique feel. But what I'm referring to are the multiplayer games. Specifically, gaming with friends used to mean gaming in the same location, talking with friends face to face. And now, you just don't see that. LAN parties, for the most part, are a thing of the past. As internet speeds have gotten faster and faster, there's just been no need to connect with friends over the local area network. No longer are the troubles of disconnecting your phone line so you can turn on your dial-up connection to direct connect to a friend's IP to play games with them. Now it's just easy and intuitive. No need for that old-school mumbo-jumbo. And I wasn't kidding earlier. I have many fond memories of my childhood. Getting cases of soda, packs of candy, packing up my first gaming PC, and hauling it over to my friend's house to have a LAN party with 3 or 4 guys until dawn. We developed a friendship through gaming. Being able to look at someone's face as you own the shit out of them is a hilarious sight. And there was just as much shit-talking too, except it was out of the fun of the game. We weren't hiding behind the veil of a computer screen. We were just talking trash and joking around and having a good time. And it wasn't just limited to PC LAN parties. Before the likes of Xbox Live and PlayStation Network, you'd have to play split-screen games with your friends. And sure, looking at it now, we know it takes away from the fun of the game, taking away half the screen just so your buddy can play a shooter on the same screen. But back then, we didn't know any better. Now, the obvious choice is to play Call of Duty on separate Xboxes from the comfort of your own living room, because internet speeds allow it, and I don't have to deal with half as much visibility. But while it makes the game itself more fun, it definitely takes away from the personal aspect that we once had in gaming. And in an era where the style of games for consoles and PCs alike aren't very nurturing towards this couch co-op, split-screen style of multiplayer, Nintendo has provided a constant in this niche market of gaming. Now, don't go yelling at me about how most games do have a local multiplayer, because I realize that may be the case. The point I'm trying to make is that very few games for the PC or Xbox or PlayStation provide a viable option for this style of gameplay. Split screen in the FPS games or even miscellaneous games like Rocket League take away from the game by decreasing the field of view, and in turn promoting internet gameplay. But then think about Nintendo consoles and the games provided for them. Obviously, I'm talking about the Switch here, but the same thing can be said for past Nintendo consoles like the Wii. I mean, check out some of the first look at Nintendo Switch YouTube videos. Obviously, the major selling point of the Switch is that you're able to not only play it in your own home, but take it on the go, wherever you want to go. And while that's the first impression we get shown from the Switch video, the entire second half of the first look, and then some, is dedicated to the multiplayer aspect of the console. The local, couch-style multiplayer I talked about earlier. We've got 2 guys playing Mario Kart in the back of a van, 4 guys playing NBA 2K on a basketball court, a girl taking her Switch to a party and becoming the life of said party, a bunch of swell dudes sitting around playing Splatoon, and said swell dudes going out to play a competitive match in a packed arena. A plethora of examples that Nintendo is using to try to hammer home that whole idea of playing games alongside your friends, not just with your friends. And that same idea can be shown with the types of multiplayer games offered for the Switch. Sure, Breath of the Wild is the main selling point at the moment, but games like Mario Kart, Mario Party, and ARMS, among others, give us that fun same-screen multiplayer experiences that games on the other consoles just lack. Let me tell you, playing a game like Mario Party with friends over the internet is just not the same as with your buddies in the same room. Half the fun of the game is the time spent with the other people playing on that same screen, and it just adds another level of fun not seen in gaming nowadays. So at this point we can see how the Switch is capitalizing on this segment of the market, but we really gotta see a rival console to know for sure. Let's take a look at the Xbox One S introduction video. As opposed to the functionality and multiplayer focus that the Switch video had, the Xbox video is focused on the sleek sexiness of this white box. Sorry, shiny white box. We see a couple of gameplay clips, both for single-player games, but mostly the console is marketed for its functionality as an elite gaming machine, and just being the sexy new Xbox. Kinda sorta just a run-of-the-mill, hey, check out my sweet new console ad. Now, I gotta say, I do own an Xbox One, and I really love it. I just think the advertisement hits home on the type of gaming experience it offers. It's perfect for the single-player experience, or that single-screen experience. But when it comes to multiplayer, that split screen definitely can take away from the gaming experience. But why does all this matter? I guess the big question I'm trying to get at here is, how is the current state of video games affecting us emotionally? Are they making us lonelier than in the past? Since I grew up in a time where LAN parties and local gaming was pretty much the only way to have a multiplayer experience, I'm biased in thinking that the good old days were prime in developing those personal connections through video games. And while those personal connections can be made through the internet, I found that I'm a lot happier and a lot less lonely when playing games with my friends locally. That's not to say that I don't enjoy playing games in the comfort of my own gaming chair. Her name is Lucy. But rather, that's just me saying that internet games don't allow for the same personal connection that screwing with my buddies in person has. So thanks, Nintendo Switch! Even if you're impossible to get a hold of. I'll get you one day, definitely the red and blue one. The gray just wouldn't spice up the room enough. So with that, I have a special announcement! Are you ready? April 11th is the 3-year anniversary of our popular series, The Story You Never Knew. On that fateful day 3 years ago, we released Samus Aran, The Story You Never Knew. And our shitty, terrible Let's Play channel was never the same, in the best way possible. To celebrate this momentous occasion, we're going to be hosting Tree Week! That's right, from April 11th to April 20th. Be prepared for a plethora of tree-themed videos on your favorite franchises. Tree-themed videos on Minecraft, Lord of the Rings, Pokemon, and more! Tree-themed videos up to your eyeballs! What the fuck is a tree-themed video, you ask? You're just gonna have to wait and find out. It's gonna blow your mind into a splintery photosynthesizing mess of leafy goodness. You dig? So, now that I've blown the lid on Tree Week, tell me about your opinions of my opinions of the Switch bringing us back to the good old days. I'm curious if you agree with me or if you think I'm full of it. Namely that things were a little better back then in terms of connectability with your friends. So, definitely speak your mind down below and I'll totally debate you in the comments. Lol, JK. But I'm sure somebody will debate you if you're so keen. Ah, anonymous internet debates. Gotta love them. And maybe click one of these two videos. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.